Hello everybody. Here's the baby that we're not making content of.
She asked to be in this video.
This video is going to be titled something along the lines of everything that was right or wrong about getting this baby here.
Yeah.
I think. We're gonna have a plan to do an as least medicated birth as possible, and we did a lot of prep work. We went to a couple courses. We went to, I guess we only went to one course technically.
But I read a couple books.
Yeah, it's true. I read a book too. My first book of 2025.
Yeah, so my goal was to have a hospital birth, but as little medical intervention as possible. And I didn't have a strong moral reason for that. It was more I didn't like the idea of the epidural, and I wanted to experience
I think
labor.
You wanted to be tough too.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was the big reason. I wanted to initially I was I feel like so many people have done it, and I feel like I can. In my head I was literally Victorian women have given birth without an epidural, so why can't I? But I just wanted to experience what it was like, because for those who don't know how the epidural works, it literally makes you numb from here down, and so you just don't feel what's happening to you. And so I was I want to know, I want to experience everything. I want to see what it's like. Most hospitals work. Some hospitals let you go to 42 weeks, so normal period is 40 weeks. Most hospitals will only let you go to 41 weeks. And so I hit 40 weeks, and my doctor's okay, you can have your baby this week, but we need to schedule an induction for 41 weeks so that they'll start the process of labor for you. And so I had my induction scheduled for 41 weeks. It was technically the day before 41 weeks, that Sunday after I was due. And I happened to, and the whole week I didn't want to get induced. The reason I didn't want to get induced is because the way that they induce you is they give you medication that makes you go into labor, but it's a really strong, intense labor to get things going quickly. And I was well, if I'm going to do it without an epidural, I don't want it to be more intense than it already is going to be. And so I was really hoping all week that I would go into labor, and I didn't until the night before my induction. I started getting contractions.
At 4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m.
And then our plan was to wait as long as possible to go into the hospital, just because, as soon as you get there, they want to do stuff to you. At least the hospital that we went to. We tried to wait as long as possible. We waited, so, all the way through the night, and then we went in Sunday morning.
Yeah, so my induction was scheduled for Sunday morning. So I went in Sunday morning, and I was hey, I'm already in labor. Do I need to be induced? Can I just continue with this labor naturally? And they're yeah, go home. It was, I guess, partly our fault for not, clearly communicating what we wanted, or, understanding what their plan was. Because they were yeah, that's great that you're already in labor. You don't need to get induced this morning. Come back tomorrow if you don't end up, because sometimes people go into labor and then they stop and whatever. They're if you don't end up going into labor, come back in the morning and we'll do the induction. And so I continued. So at that point, it had been 12, 15 hours or something like that, somewhere around that I've been in labor. I didn't sleep all night because I was having contractions every 10 minutes. And then I went in and they were go home, whatever. And so I went home, had contractions, and was in labor all day. And they were finally close enough. They were 3 to 5 minutes apart, which is when they say to go into the hospital. And we could have waited longer, I think, because they weren't super intense at that point.
Part of the thing is we're also depending on traffic, could have been 45 minutes away from the hospital, so we didn't want to get caught in trouble, I think.
And I think that I had just been in labor so long at the point when we went to the hospital. By the time we got to the hospital, I was in labor for 30 hours.
Yeah.
And I was just anxious to get it going. Not I wanted them to do anything. I just was if I'm at the hospital, then it's happening. They say don't go into the hospital until you're having contractions every 3 to 5 minutes, and you can't talk through them. And I don't think it was really they were intense enough that I wasn't talking through them. I had to breathe through them and everything like that. Do the techniques that I practiced
from our class.
And so then we got there, and it was like Darren said, they wanted to get things going, and it was I think part of the problem is we got there right, like literally it was like 5:30.
Yeah.
Right when they were turning over from the day crew to the night crew team or whatever. And so the day crew team, whatever, wanted to get things going because they wanted to leave for the day. I really think that's what was happening.
Yeah. Or maybe they just didn't want to leave
like half
of the stuff for the night crew.
Which they kind of did. But
yeah, they did.
Yeah, so we got there and like immediately we like get into the room and they immediately like, so I do this thing called a cervical check where they see how open your vagina is, how dilated you are, for those who don't know labor terms. And so you have to be 10 centimeters dilated to start pushing and have a baby. When I got to the hospital and they did my check, I was 4 centimeters dilated. So the first thing that I was right at 4 centimeters, like
3.75.
3.75. But the way that they check your dilation is like, I don't know what can go on YouTube. I mean, it's
just 2 fingers.
It's medical. Yeah, they stick 2 fingers up there and they like are like measuring how far apart, how open your vagina is, or your cervix. And so they measured it, and I was right at 4 centimeters. So the first thing they do for, actually backing up a little bit, when we got in there, I'm having contractions. It's intense. They start handing me like consent forms, which like they have to do. But it's like, it was so overwhelming and you could tell that they were rushing through it. And so they're like reading me these consent forms while I'm having contractions. And I'm just like signing things. And like, it was just like so overwhelming because there was like 5 people in the room. They were all asking me questions. They were all like doing different things. And then they were like, okay, we're going to check you really quick. And then I had, there was a midwife in there, and I've had really good experiences at the hospital so far with all of the midwives I've had appointments with and everything, but I had never met this midwife. Not that she was like a fake midwife or something. Seemed like it, because she was the one who seemed like she was in the most hurry. She's like, okay, well, while we're doing the cervix check, we're gonna start the first step of the induction and stick the Foley balloon in you. So the Foley balloon is literally like something that goes up into your cervix, into your vagina, and expands you to 4 centimeters. And then when it's at 4 centimeters, it's supposed to fall. 4-ish. Yeah. It's supposed to fall out. And she didn't really ask it, or tell me that she just told me that they were doing it. They didn't really ask me.
Okay, we're doing it now.
And I was really confused because, I mean, I'm having contractions and like everything's happening really quickly. But I was confused because I was like, oh, I was under the impression that I didn't have to have an induction because I'm in labor and I'm 4 centimeters and like this is normal. Like people don't just get inductions all the time because for no reason. And so they checked me. I was right at 4 centimeters, and then they put the balloon in me, and then they left.
Yeah, and then just let us sat. And then it kind of like threw you really out of your game too.
Yeah,
I think you're fine because like right away she got like really pale, really. I don't know if you were nauseous, but
I was. So I don't know like why my body reacted so poorly to the Foley balloon, because a lot of people they do the Foley balloon all the time for inductions, and people don't have like that's like not the hardest part of their labor. People think, like I've seen a lot of people say that Foley balloon feels like nothing. But like as soon as they inserted it into me, I don't know why my body reacted the way it did, but it like, I literally thought I was gonna pass out. And it didn't hurt for them to insert it, but for some reason, whatever it was, I like got shaky. I almost threw up. I was like pale.
I think you just weren't ready for that.
I don't know. It was really weird, but that was so like immediately my body reacted to it. They left and didn't really say anything to us. They were just like, all right, continue with labor.
I think I was confused what was happening. I should have asked like what the next step was.
Yeah, like why?
Well, I was under the impression that there's literally going to fall out. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe that was just like a euphemism.
I think it does fall out for people. It just didn't fall out for me.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was already at 4 centimeters.
Yeah, just displaced.
Yeah, so instead of falling out, it just like moved down my vagina, out of the cervix, down my vagina. It was just sitting in my vagina. And for like the next 2 hours, I was continuing in labor. with this thing that was like half in me. And for whatever reason, it being half in me gave me the worst, most intense pain of my life, which like, it was just really weird. I can't even explain what it was doing to me.
And we had all of these like things that we were supposed to do to like try to help you through that, and just like none of that was working.
And I'm sure that everybody says this, but I do think that I'm like fairly pain tolerant. And so like, I think if it had been a normal labor, people say that like when you're at the point where you're like throwing up and like saying you can't do it anymore, that's like the last step before it's time to start pushing. And so that's like what I was expecting. But I immediately, and I like I said, like I had been in labor all the way up until that point.
At this point, you'd been in there for what?
Well, when I got
hours,
and I had been in labor and it had been fine. And then as soon as they put the Foley balloon in, I was like, I actually was throwing up. Like I was throwing up, screaming. Like it was like so intense. Darren said it was scary to watch.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we were ready for that to happen yet.
And just happened so quickly. Like I like immediately just like was like in the most intense pain. And I was ready for that kind of pain, just not yet.
Yeah.
And so finally I was like, Darren, like, because I knew I was only at 4 centimeters and you have to get to 10. And once you get to 10, you have to push, which pushing can take up to like 3 or 4 hours if it's your first baby. And pushing is a lot of physical exertion. I was like, Darren, I'm not going to have the energy to continue doing this. Like there's no way that I'm going to be able to make it to the end of this.
And this hospital that we went to had nitrous oxide, which is like a gas thing. It's like laughing gas.
Yeah.
So I knew she still kind of wanted to not do the epidural. So I was like, well, let me go ask about that, see if we can get that going, because we hadn't like done anything.
Yeah, he's like, let's just try that, see if it helps you.
So I went and asked, and she was like, well, sure, but let me come see if like the balloon has fallen out. And then she came in, checked her, and she's like, oh yeah, this has probably been out for like an hour and a half.
So the whole time, that's why I was in so much pain. And again, like not everybody has that experience, but for some reason my body reacted really like bizarre.
Yeah.
So it was absolutely better than it was once they took the Foley balloon out. It was 100% better, but it was, my body had like reacted so poorly to the Foley balloon, and I was so like weak and shaky and like dehydrated and tired from 32 hours of labor that I was still like, I just couldn't get back in the zone that I was in before. And I was like, I knew that I just wouldn't be able to have the physical stamina to like make it to the end. So I got the epidural, and I will say I am so happy that I got it because
well, it made everything like a ton easier.
Yeah.
And the guy that did it, I think sometimes the issue is that maybe they're not that great at it.
Yeah, the guy who did it seemed like he knew what he was doing.
He did pretty quick. It only took like 20 minutes.
And like my fear with the epidural, I don't love needles, but I'm not someone who like freaks out at needles. So that wasn't like the biggest issue. Like I didn't like the idea of being like completely numb. Yeah. And like not being able to feel my body. I was like, that's gonna be so weird. But at that point I was so tired that it was such a relief to like not be able to feel my body.
Well, and just like actually sleep for a little bit.
Yeah, and so got the epidural, and I might like with my next baby try to do it unmedicated. But now that I know how nice the epidural is, like you don't feel anything. but this being said, so I got the epidural at like 11. I didn't get to 10 centimeters, and they told me this was fast. I didn't get to 10 centimeters until 5 a.m. Yeah. So 6 hours. And that's after I got the
Pitocin
after they had given me Pitocin, which Pitocin like speeds up the contractions, and they told me that was a fast transition. So I had at least 6 hours
to
go, and if I hadn't got the epidural, I just don't think I would have been able to do that. So weird. The epidural is so weird. And we took like 1 hour naps. Someone would come in like every hour to like check on me and stuff like that. But it was just so nice to like sleep and like just like feel nothing. It was weird because like you sleep with this giant peanut medicine ball between your legs, and you just like are on your side, and you know, like I've been laying like this for like 3.5 hours. Like if I was awake, my leg would be completely
which
asleep.
Probably was. I tried to like
stimulate it a little bit. Yeah, you did.
And then but also I think after that you had a pretty good experience of you didn't tear, you didn't.
Yeah. So then getting
nothing
into
else bad happened.
Yeah. So So honestly, like I would say it was, I don't want to use the word traumatic. Some people have really traumatic hospital experiences, but like it was really jarring getting into the hospital and everybody was just like information overloading me while I was having contractions, and then I immediately went into like the most intense pain of my life, and no one was informing me what was happening, and it was like unnecessary pain because I think because they turned over, it wasn't productive. Like it wasn't, I didn't need to be in that much pain. And because they had turned over teams, I don't think anybody had any plan of coming to check on me until we asked.
Like, I wonder how long they would have let us just sit there.
Yeah.
They would have checked at some point, but maybe.
And I can see why also people get doulas, because if you had a doula, like their job is like, Darian was like obviously not in labor, but he was like also being like information overloaded. Yeah. Loaded, and he's never been through this before either. So like if I had a doula there whose job it is to like know what's happening, they probably could have advocated for me a little more and been like, okay, slow down, like why are we doing this, like why are we rushing, blah blah blah. But so I can see why people do doulas. I can also see why people do home births, because when you get to the hospital it's like sterile in there and like everybody's like just like go 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 go, and it's just kind of jarring. But
and then they told us that you're like, okay, just so you know, since this is your first one, you might have to push for like 3 to 4 hours.
So they told us that, and I was like, okay, here we go. And even after the first like set of stuff, every time you get a contraction, it like builds up in intensity and then it goes down. And when you have the epidural, you can like feel the pressure of a contraction, but it doesn't hurt. So you can kind of just like feel like tightening, I guess, kind of. And so I knew when I was getting them, and they also helped direct me. So the midwife that was there, or the doctor that was there.
It's hard to tell. There's a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people. I think it was a doctor.
Hopefully.
We did like 3 sets of 10. So she would be like, the contraction would start, and she's like, push for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, to 10. 3 times she would do it over the course of the contraction. And you don't breathe. Like you just like hold your breath.
Just like bear down.
Because I thought you could breathe. At first I was like... But she was like, no, don't breathe.
Yeah, just hold it.
And they say, like, push like you're trying to poop. Which is kind of true, but, like, I found that, like, if I, like, did it more in my, like front than back, I don't know if you're a girl, then you might understand that a little more, but, like, it was more like my pelvic floor than, like, pooping. Then it was more productive. But, yeah. And then, like, I, like... bared my arms against my legs, which is relevant because my arms were so sore the next day. So after the first contraction, I was like literally so red and out of breath, and maybe people don't push as hard as I was pushing, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is a workout. After the first one, I was like, I have to do this for 4 hours. That is crazy. And like, I don't want to be like, oh, I work out, but like, I do work out, and so like I was like, this is a workout. I don't know if I can do this for 4 hours.
But you didn't have to.
But I didn't have to. It took me like 45 minutes, which I'm pretty proud of. I was in labor for like 36 hours, but I only pushed for 45 minutes.
They asked if I wanted to like catch her, which is like a relative term, I guess. And so I did that, kind of. I mean,
they don't shoot out.
Yeah, they don't shoot out.
They asked me if I wanted to have a mirror beforehand, like in front of me to watch what was happening, and I was like, no, that's like, I thought it was supposed to be like more of like a like sentimental thing, like, oh, I get to watch the baby come out. I was like, no, I don't really have any interest in doing that. But it actually made it more productive because I could see like the different ways that like if I pushed like this, it looked like the baby was coming out more, and you could see the baby's head for like 30 minutes.
Like 30 minutes.
Yeah. But I could see like, oh, if I release too much in between contractions, I can see her go back in. And so like I could kind of like gauge like what I needed to do to get her out quicker. So would recommend the mirror. There was once I was like about to push, that's how it gets exciting because you know the baby's about to come, because all of a sudden there's like 10 people in there. Because it was just like 3 people. It was like the nurse, and then I think usually it'd probably be 2 people because it was a doctor, but then there's like a student there too.
Yeah.
But then once you're like, you know, the baby's coming, when there's like
a bunch of people
10 people show up.
So that was the event. Now we have this baby. She was fine. She was breathing for the most part.
She had some mucus in her nose.
They had to drain her a little bit. But now we got this baby.
They pulled her out and she immediately pooped on me.
Yeah, that was not nice of her.
It was not nice of her. Like, literally, like, as they were, like, lifting her on top of me, she, like, pooped.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of pressure.
She said a lot was happening to me. Yeah, so that I got pretty messy during that birth. I was covered in blood and juice and poop.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
No, it wasn't that big of a deal. I got a shower eventually.
At the end of the day, though, nothing bad happens.
Yeah, she was healthy. I was healthy. Once I got the epidural, it was like a very peaceful experience. It was like, honestly, like the difference between my labor before and after the epidural. So this is me saying, don't feel bad about getting the epidural, because I don't think there's any shame in it. If that's what you want to do, then you should do it. If you want to have an unmedicated birth, you should do that too. If you do want to get it, it makes the experience much easier.
If it works.
If it works and nothing goes wrong. But like, usually nothing goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, went fine for you.
Yeah, it was so good after that, and pushing was really easy. She came out, she was healthy, 7 pounds, 5 ounces.
That is the story of how we got this baby.
Yeah, I don't know if that was very exciting or not. But
maybe it was.
Yeah, it was exciting for us. It was a crazy experience.
Marlo slept through the whole story.
She thought it was boring. She said I was already there. Yeah, and I've been healing really well. They let us go like the night, like usually you stay for 2 hours. I went, or it's not 2 hours, 2 days, and I left like after like a day and a half because
Which may have also just been they were trying to get us out, but I don't know.
Could have been.
I think we were only like one of 3 people there, but.
Yeah, it was a holiday weekend, so maybe they just didn't want anybody there.
Like, get out, your baby's alright, get out of here.
But I mean, I was fine with that too, because like when you're at the hospital at night, all day, but at night too, they come in like every hour to check you, give you medication, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I just want to go home and get sleep. Yeah. Which is funny, because, I mean.
That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother video. No, but it's been good so far.
I just got to figure out how to
take care of this baby.
Well, I guess that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching until the end. Like, comment, subscribe.